So what is light? Well, light is a type of energy. We can also say that light is a type of radiation. It's called electromagnetic radiation. Light is part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum is a whole spectrum of different types of radiation. On one end we've got gamma rays, on the other end we've got radio waves. In between we've got other things like ultraviolet and X-ray and microwaves. But the little part in the middle is what we call visible light. So it's only just one little part of the electromagnetic spectrum. So when we think about light, we're thinking about that part of the spectrum that is visible. So we call it visible light. The radiation in the electromagnetic spectrum travels as a wave. And in this case, the wave is a transverse wave. In fact, it's actually two transverse waves. We have an electric wave and a magnetic wave, and they actually run at 90 degrees to each other. We'll talk more about that another time. Right now, let's just focus on light. So what happens when light hits a surface? Well, it's either reflected or it's transmitted. So transmitted means that the light actually goes through. And we've got a couple of different types of surfaces. A surface that is clear allows the light to go all the way through. And that is what we call a transparent surface. So this surface is transparent. Transparent surface allows all of the light to be transmitted through, and it doesn't disrupt the light at all, so you can form an image on the other side. In other words, you look through glass, like this glass board here, and you can see me. All of the light goes through, doesn't get disturbed, and so therefore an image can form. Another type of surface is where light is allowed to go through, but the light scatters. So it allows the light to go through, but the light scatters. And this is what we call translucent. So the light scatters, no image forms. Light can go through, but you don't get a clear image. The light scatters, no clear image. Now, an object that doesn't allow light to go through is called opaque. And an opaque object can do one of two things. So let's say we've got, just say we've got an apple here. The reason we can see this apple is because the light actually reflects off the apple. So we're looking at the apple, and light comes from, the sun comes down, hits the apple and reflects back, so we actually see the light that reflects off the apple. So this introduces one last concept here. So this is how we see most things, because most things that we see don't actually create their own light. They're called non-luminous. Non-luminous does not create its own light. It doesn't create its own light, it's non-luminous. So we do have things that are luminous. For example, the sun or a light bulb is luminous because it actually creates light, and that's what we call luminous. Something that's luminous actually creates light. So something that's luminous creates its own light, but most things we see are non-luminous, and we see them because light actually reflects off. Just one last thing that I should have said before is that while sound waves require particles to travel, light does not. Light can travel through a vacuum. So that's of course how we get light from the sun to travel through the vacuum of space to our small little blue planet here, And so light from the sun travels through the vacuum of space to light up our planet.